Happy Monday. Welcome to Monday Mobility with Janine at Whole Body Health. I'm going to be doing some mobility today in case you get headaches frequently, even if you don't get them frequently. I'm going to show you a way today to stretch some of those muscles in the back of the neck, some of those muscles that go up into the neck, upper trap area, common area that most of us don't know how to address or we don't think to address. So we're gonna work on that today, but first, before we do that, we're just gonna do a couple little full body or hip things just to get the body moving. I am up against the wall today because we are gonna be up against the wall, so if you have a space that you can lean up against, you're gonna need that. You can use the floor also, but it's hard for me to demo from the floor and for you to see what's going on. So I'm gonna use the wall today. I also have to apologize for my ugly wall. So my husband cringes every time he watches my videos because my wall is so ugly. This is the last Monday you will be seeing this ugly wall, I promise. So I will be painting the wall. I bought paint this weekend, so I will be fixing my studio. It will no longer be this god-awful, ugly, stained wall here. So just a note, that will be fixed this week. So next Monday, if you guys are joining me, you will see a beautiful wall, beautiful studio. I'm so excited about it. Anyways, let's get going today, guys. So first thing, I'm just up against my wall here. I'm gonna shift my weight to one foot and we're just gonna open those hips. Try to keep the hips straight ahead, okay? And we're just feeling what's going on in those hips today. They may be really loose, they may be super tight because you just crawled out of bed. Whatever they are, they are. Just realize what you got going on, realize what you need to work on. Let's go and reverse that. One way might be a little bit easier than the other. Big, huge circles. Try to get a little bit bigger as you go. Okay, one more. Okay, and we're gonna shift our weight to the other side. I'm not gonna turn around so you don't look at me from behind. Watch the wall here. Big circles. Notice how it feels. Notice if it's hard to get through this position or maybe it's this position. Like I said, just notice what's happening. Notice what you need to work on. Reverse position. Sometimes we don't realize how our movement is hindered until we actually start moving. And we're like, oh, that doesn't feel so great. And that's something you might want to address or need to address later. One more. Okay. And then we're just going to do a standing figure four. I'm going to do it, well, I'll do it from this angle here, see if I can balance well today. So I sprained my ankle this weekend. I won't get into how I did it. It feels better today. It was a silly way that I sprained it, but it's a little unstable today, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to put my right ankle over my left knee. I'm going to kick those hips back, just opening up that hip again, pushing that right knee open. Okay, and I'll show you a couple different angles here. Pushing the right knee open. If it doesn't want to go, let it close off, bring the knee up, and then push it open again. So you can kind of go in and out with that hip. Okay, and again, just feeling what's going on in the hips, what we might need to work on. Making sure to breathe. This might be intense, it might not. That's fine. It is what it is. Let's do a couple more here. And then go ahead and switch sides. Same thing on the other side. Find your balance. Cross that leg over, bend forward. Notice what you got going on here. This is always my tighter hip. Nice. Couple more here. Okay. We're going to stand it up. I'm going to turn sideways to you. We're going to back up against the wall if you have a wall. If you don't have a wall, not a problem. We're going to stand all the way against it. So heels, butt, hips, shoulders, head. And then from here, we're going to dip the chin down. Okay? Dip the chin. Now we're going to pull the shoulders off around those shoulders. That's all we're going to do right now. Keep the butt against the wall. Keep the heels against the wall. Hold that chin in nice and tight. Make sure you're breathing. And then put the shoulders back, and then put the head back. And then we're going to do that again. So chin, shoulders, go a little bit further this time so the mid-back is starting to come off the wall. The butt is still on the wall. The chin is tucked. So you'll feel that stretch all the way down the neck and through the upper back, especially if we're really tight in those areas. Make sure you keep breathing. Go ahead and put the back against the wall, shoulders, and head. We're going to do that again. Chin, shoulders. Bring the back off, maybe a little bit further this time. Keeping the chin tucked. The key is keep the chin tucked. Try it without the chin tucked. Let your chin go. Feel the difference in that upper back and that neck. You're losing that stretch if you let the chin tuck go. So make sure you keep that chin tucked. Keep breathing. You don't have to go very far. If you're really tight, don't go any further than this. If you have more, you can go a little bit further and feel the stretch all the way down. Right now, this is plenty for me. My goal today, like I mentioned when we first started, go ahead and put the back, shoulders, and then head back, relax everything, and then go ahead and go again as I talk here. Go ahead and get back into that position. So as I mentioned when we first started, we're going to work on those neck muscles that goes into the upper back, areas that cause tension in the neck and ultimately headaches. So right now, I can feel, by keeping that chin tucked, I can feel it all the way up into the back of my head. It's kind of pulling on my spine or my skull right there. So go ahead and put those shoulders back, head back, and then go ahead and relax. So like I mentioned, you can do it away from the wall. The official name is a Jefferson curl. I'm sure there's lots of other names for it. The goal is to start to go all the way down to the ground while keeping that chin tucked. What I found is that so many people are tight through the neck and the upper back that keeping the chin tucked is a real challenge. So start with that partial range of movement that I just showed you, and then you can always extend down from there. The goal being to stay tucked and to get all the way down to the ground, hang, and then roll back up. The movement is really slow, so keep it slow. Even when you get to the bottom there, hang for a little bit and then slowly work your way back up. Okay, slow is better. Go ahead and grab either a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball. Okay, either one is fine. If you've never done releases with either of these before, grab the tennis ball. It's going to be a little more forgiving, less intense. I'm going to grab the lacrosse ball because I know I got some work to do. So where we're going to address is right here at the top of the shoulder blade. So we're not going to go right across the top today for sake of time, and then also camera angles. It's a little more difficult to get that with this type of movement. So we're going to stick this ball right here, right at the base where the shoulder blade starts to come towards that spine. Okay, so I'm going to position it there. I'm going to lean my body into it. Okay, so this is super intense. You can stand up a little bit more and put less pressure on the ball, but I want to really get in there. So I'm going to kind of move around. Again, I'm not any bony structure. I'm not on the shoulder blade itself. I am not on the spine. I'm right in between the shoulder blade and the spine at that top angle there of the shoulder blade. And I'm just going to kind of hunt around. So typical area that is tight for most people. You may find a trigger point or a knot in right underneath the ball that is somewhat painful. Make sure you breathe through that. The whole idea is to relax into it. You know, kind of an oxymoron whenever I tell people to relax while doing this. Difficult when you're uncomfortable. It might be a little towards the pain side. If it's really painful, decrease the intensity. We want to try to stay away from that pain threshold. I say that lightly because it always feels like pain, but it should be uncomfortable, but something you can still breathe through. Okay, so I'm leaning into that area. I'm kind of searching for a spot that's really tender, and then I'm going to hang onto it. I'm going to push into that. I'm going to keep breathing. Okay, big deep breaths to relax that area. Relax into the ball for it to become less intense. So note to you guys, if you've ever had anyone come up and kind of rub your shoulders and you're like, oh my god, that hurts. If there's not a reason for it, if you didn't just have a big workout to make your shoulders sore, you need to address that area. Anytime we have areas of tenderness or pain, those are areas that we need to address. There's something going on. So make sure you address them. So we're just hanging out here. It's actually becoming less intense as I sit here. I might get a little bit of a leg workout here as you're holding your body up against the wall. So another option we have here is while holding those areas, we can use the arm movements, right? You see how those muscles are affected by the movement of our arm, or vice versa, how the muscles move the arm. Okay, so I'm just doing just different movements, fanning my arm up and down. Okay, might need to move the ball a little bit depending on what you got going on. Okay, and then we can put palm to the wall and then come all the way up. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Experiment with the arm movement. Okay, we can cross over the body and then come up. Now I haven't really left the area that I originally instructed you to put the ball on. I'm still in that same area. Show you right there, if you guys can see. Okay, I'm actually going to switch now. So that side feels a little bit. I should have you guys do shoulder rolls. Before we start the other side, do a couple little shoulder rolls. Just notice what it feels like. Okay, forward and backward since we haven't done that side. This side feels real good now. Even just that, what was it, a minute on that side, minute and a half on that side is giving me enough release that I can actually feel less tension through the neck there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm not going to move the camera so it's harder to see, but same exact positioning. Now this is a side for me that I know is a little bit tighter and gives me a little more trouble than my left side. So it's definitely more tender as I push into those areas. Okay, and I'm not moving very much on that ball. So I'm just kind of shifting my weight, just kind of side to side and up and down. I'm looking for a real tender spot. There's lots of spots in there. I'm just going to kind of hang out in that spot and breathe. Trying to get everything to relax. You may feel some tension or some pull up into the base of your skull. You've got a lot of muscles that connect up there into the base of the skull from the back and from the shoulder blade, so that is to be expected. Might be a new sensation for you. That's fine. Just know that is normal. You may have a thump like I just experienced. I just slowly went over the muscle and it just kind of went to thump like there's a little rope there. That is totally normal also. I'm going to find that spot again and I'm going to push into that spot. So I'm pushing against it, breathing, trying to get that spot to let go. I'm going to hang out here, trying to get some things relaxed before we use the arm movements. And again, I mentioned you can do this on the floor. Perfectly fine. It's a little harder to roll up and down or side to side, but we're not making big movements, so it's totally possible to do that. Okay, real small movement up. There it is again, that little thump. Let's go ahead and add some arm movement. So I'm just kind of playing with the arm. Palm to the wall, all the way back. Finding those spots that are tender, make sure you put that pressure in there. So some snow angel. Do some cross body all the way across to the other hip and then up to the sky. A couple more with the arm. Okay, and then I'm going to slowly come out of that. Go ahead and give yourself a couple of shoulder rolls again. Notice the difference. So that was only about a minute and a half on that side, about the same amount we did on the other side. So you don't have to spend forever there. So ultimately, if I were going to be doing a shoulder workout or if I was having a lot of headaches, I would actually work a little higher up. So that's another movement. I'll actually show you another time because it's not very good on this wall right here. I have to change angles. But you can get the top part of your traps here, which also plays into some of the headaches and that neck tightness. Another good one is here's my collarbones. Go closer here. So collarbones, you can grab right below those collarbones, and then you pull the chin back. Okay, so I'm pulling the chin back here. Okay, and elevate the chin here. Just gives a little stretch to these muscles here in front of your neck. These get really tight also. And then they start to pull forward here, then you get more tension back here. So you want that chin tucked a little bit in that neutral position. So you want to make sure that you address some of the front too. Obviously we can't stick a ball in the front of our neck here, but you can use your fingers. This is something I'll do actually when I'm driving, or if I'm feeling any kind of tightness, I'll do kind of a pull like this to both sides, just kind of holding the tissue right here below my collarbone. Sometimes I'll play with the tissue right here above the collarbone. Now you've got more stuff, thin skin, veins, arteries, everything going through your neck, nerves. You don't want to push too much in there. As a massage therapist, I kind of have an idea where I can and can't push, But as someone who maybe is not so familiar with those areas, definitely, like you can get this soft tissue in here. You can come up to the top here and grab these muscles here. Perfectly okay. Okay, in fact, you'll probably notice as you grab these muscles that they're really sore as they connect into your skull here. But those are areas you can definitely grab onto, not gonna damage anything. Obviously, if you feel any kind of tingling or any kind of weird sensations, let go of those muscles, don't do that. And move on to somewhere else. I find below the collarbone is a safe place that you can, everyone can kind of palpate and hold onto those muscles while they do these little stretches, and they can feel some relief out of that. So let's go ahead and put the ball down. We'll just have a few more minutes. Go ahead and clasp the hands behind the back. So we did this a few weeks ago, maybe it was about a month ago now. So, and I noticed that some people are having a hard time keeping those hands clasped behind the back. You can grab onto a towel, a strap, a band if you have a big band, that's fine. And that'll just have your hands a little further apart here, but you'll still get that good stretch and you'll be able to raise those arms up. If you don't have anything, you can still do this. You just lose a little bit of the effectiveness of the stretch. But go ahead and clasp those hands if you can. I'm actually gonna turn towards you, so don't bang, it'll go this way. Okay, and then you're gonna go ahead and come down, try to keep the back nice and flat, and bring those arms up. Big stretch. Nice, and then we're gonna come up. Now one more way real quick to do that stretch, a similar way to do it actually, it's not exact, but similar. If your lower back is not agreeing with you or you're just having a hard time getting those arms up there without compensating in the upper body, you can do the stretch on the wall here. So hopefully I don't disappear from the screen. But you can put your hand, palm or fingers facing down and then turn away. Okay, so for me, this is gonna give me a little more stretch through the front of the shoulder and through the chest, especially today since I did some chest workout this weekend. But this will actually still give you that. If you keep that elbow straight, you'll get that stretch to the bicep as well. So just another way that you can do this if your back is kind of cranky or bending forward isn't really working with your back or just doesn't work with your body, you can always do this here. It's a nice little release. Again, keep the elbow straight. You can play with the position of your arm. You can bring it a little higher and stretch. Okay, the goal is to turn the whole body. So that way you feel the stretch here. That way you're not doing something weird with the hips. You can go to the other side, same thing, pulling it back. Turn and look away. That'll give you just a little bit extra stretch through that neck and shoulder area as well. Okay, so that's just another alternative to that same one. I really like this one here and bending forward just because it gives you a little extra. It gives you the fight against gravity as your arms want to go over the top of your head. I can feel a little more stretch underneath the arm into the serratus anterior area, through the lats. But there's always different ways to do things. So if that doesn't work for you, like I said, you can use the wall for a different stretch. Let's see. So we went over today with the shoulders and the neck and a little extra stretch through the chest here, opening up the front. Super important to keep that open, especially if you're getting headaches. Our bodies pull forward. What we do on the computers, on our phone, watching TV, any of the driving's a big one. Okay, we end up in this forward rounded position here. I notice when I drive, some of you might notice this also, and actually leave me a comment. It'd be interesting to see who notices it or not. When you get in the car in the morning versus when you get in the car maybe like early afternoon or so, it's almost like somebody moved your rear view mirror. Has anyone experienced that? So you get in the car and you're like, who's driving my car? It's so high now. Well, that's actually us slumping down in our seats. So pay attention to that. If you haven't noticed that before, I definitely have noticed it. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't see through my mirror. It's like somebody moved it. But really it's because I'm kind of slouching down in the seat. Whereas earlier in the day, I had more of that upright posture. As the day goes on, we get tired. We're sitting in front of the computer. Things get lax in our body. In our front, we end up like this. And we get in the car and we're like, I can't see it in the mirror. But anyways, nobody moved your mirror, guys. It's your body. So take that as a cue to sit up nice and straight. Pull that chin back. Sit up nice and tall here. Try not to slouch forward like this, okay? Just pay attention when you drive your car, especially if you're in your car a lot. I know a lot of people commute still if you're still working. So pay attention to that because that's wreaking havoc on your body as well, how we drive. Maybe I'll make another post on what happens when we drive and how it's hurting your body. Anyways, we are done with our 10 minutes of mobility today. And there's a lot of talking. Sorry about that. I thought it was some helpful information. Hopefully you guys did too. Using the lacrosse ball against the wall. You can go, one more thing. You can go further down the back. We didn't do it today, but that upper back all plays into the neck and then this whole forward position and being able to actually open up and stand with correct posture. So you can take that lacrosse ball as you lean against the wall down the back. Don't put it on your spine like I mentioned before. Stay off the bony structures. Go right next to your spine. In fact, it's a really good thing just to test out and see how your those muscles, those postural muscles, feel. Because some people don't realize how tight they are. You might have noticed how tight it was when we did this here. Trying to bend forward. You felt that pull down the upper back. So if that's the case, you can lean against the wall on that lacrosse ball or that tennis ball. You can get on the ground and do that. Really good for opening up that middle back. The middle back plays into the tightness of your low back. So if you have low back issues, definitely address the middle of your back because that's going to be directly affecting the way your neck feels and how your low back feels. So that's my final thought for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the 10-minute mobility. I guess it was a little less than that today, but hopefully you enjoyed all the information and got something out of it. If you have any specific questions you want to ask me, always feel free to put it in the comments. You can text me on my cell phone. You can instant message me, however you want to do it. Reach out, please. I'd love to answer your questions because there's probably somebody else with the same question. So anyways, enjoy your week. Make it a great one, and I will catch you guys later in the week. Bye.